And I have, presumably, in this box, a Firefly FFTL Mad Cat with a C electric guitar. This is obviously a copy of Prince's famous Mad Cat guitar, Telecaster style guitar. I'm a huge Prince fan. I've been wanting one that looked like his for a long time. I know Harley Benton makes one. I've never had a Harley Benton. I never had a Firefly either, but I thought this one looked more like Prince's. And of course, originals are thousands and thousands of dollars. I think Eastman, makes one for about $1,300, but this one was $200 with tax and shipping, $226 from Guitars Garden, and I'm very eager to try it out. I will say that this box is not the most substantial. Solidly packed it feels. Of course, I haven't opened it yet. We'll take a look and see what's inside. Even though I'm not a metal player, I quite enjoy Guitar Max's channel, and he's had some Fireflies on there and spoken well of them. So I thought that between wanting to give one a try and being a huge Prince fan, this would be one to take a look at. So let's just get the knife out here and cut into it. Well, this I can just kind of tear here. Okay. So as I think Ryan on 60 Cycle Hum may have demonstrated a Firefly before too. I can already tell this is what he calls the styrofoam sarcophagus. Not quite sure which way is up. Did not indicate on the box, but it is taped. I'm guessing this is the top because it's not quite as big. Excuse me as I have to go through some contortions. Yep, that is the top. Okay, I'm very eager to see this because I've seen some other YouTube videos, which I'm going to link below to this guitar. I've been very impressed by it for the price. So first of all, we have see immediately a very inexpensive cable, but a cable. A couple of wrenches, one for the hex key for the truss rod, and a smaller one, presumably for the saddles. Okay. And I will say in the videos I've seen about this guitar on YouTube, everyone has spoken, basically they're saying that it's a great guitar for $200, because in that price range you're looking at probably between a Sonic / Bullet / Affinity, not as much as this is less than Affinity, more than a Sonic or a Bullet Squire. So it's packed in. Let's see this sleeve here. Ooh. Really like that vintage hue of the neck. A little bit orangish, more than amber, but oh yeah, this is. So you're seeing the front before me. This is beautiful. Obviously, this is a flame maple veneer, not solid flame maple. Let's see, so far has this try to get here, sort of leopard / tortoise binding. Take a look at the back here. Back's got a very nice flame veneer too. As you can see, it's stringed through. Let's see. Neck obviously has a skunk stripe. Maple neck. This is, they said it was a mahogany body. That looks like mahogany to me. About average weight, I would say, for a Telecaster guitar. Maybe, and again, this is a very initial impression, on the heavy side of average, but nothing at all to note. I will say the way it's stringed, I just noticed it's not strung through the string trees. But otherwise, we've got some pretty typical Telecaster stuff. Pots, I think if I recall in another video, these are the large pots. Might check that out in this video. You'll see. Big barrel switch tip. Switch feels like probably the same made overseas switch that's in a lot of Squires. Let's see. I think this This appears to be this sort of leopard pattern is in the clear pick guard, and that's inside. I do see that I'm not sure how well it comes through. There is a bit of a scratch on the pick guard, which is not good in this case because that's where you get your, make sure it's not something that's gonna just wipe off. It might. Yeah, no, made in the plastic. So it's got the bridge of a hardtail Strat style. Got a similar, of course, leopard style plate here. I'm pretty sure, and this was the case in Prince's guitar, even though it looks like a Telecaster, has Stratocaster pickups. These look like Strat style pickups. The other videos I've seen seem to be Strat style pickups and not Telecaster pickups, which I think is interesting. One big draw for this guitar, and I think Guitar Max talked about this as well, I believe these are stainless steel frets, or at least they're supposed to be. And yeah, the fret ends are extremely, I mean, they're perfect. I think these might be ones that they, instead of putting the fret in and then cutting them off, and I think that they are rounded before they are put in. They're exceptional. Yeah, they're exceptional. Nut is some type of plastic material. Again, the Firefly Pure series. Honestly, don't know. Kind of curious, admittedly, though I'm a little bit reluctant to take this on and off too much. If a Telecaster neck would fit on this, an actual Telecaster neck. Just going over some more of the superficial things. You can tell, I'll try to get the guitar at a good angle. Here in the horn of the cutaway, it's the way my camera set up, it's very hard to do, but you can tell there's a very obvious seam right here. Can't really see because of the glare, but there's no doubt that this piece of the guitar is another, it's at least 2 pieces, which I would expect it to be. I'd expect it to be at least 3, honestly. Just regular neck plate. Let's see. Not in tune, obviously, but looking at the neck, seems to be about dead straight, which I like. The tuners is not that there's anything wrong with them. They're just kind of your typical inexpensive tuners. Again, not necessarily anything wrong with them. There's of course a double string tree. Just curious here while we're just checking it out, if I can, because I'm mainly curious as to if there's a reason why, other than just oversight and or laziness at the factory, that this was not stringed properly. I am not one who has strong feelings on string trees or double string trees. I know you will get this string tree, neither one is drilled very neatly. You can see chips in the face of the headstock under the string trees. But again, I'm not saying that's something that should be completely written off, but you are keeping in mind this is a Chinese-made $200 guitar, so you're not expecting it to be Fender custom shop. But they went straight in the string trees with no problem. I'm not going to sit here and make you all sit through me tuning it up, but I will say that and the more I hold it, I think I would say average weight for a Telecaster style guitar, because you have to keep in mind this is not a solid piece of maple on the top and back. It's a veneer, very pretty veneer. So that's mainly for looks, and anytime you're putting maple on something other than maybe if you're putting actual cap on there, it's different. But I will say that with realistic expectations for a $200 guitar from China, I'm definitely satisfied so far. And I'm eager to try these, get it tuned up and try out these pickups, because I've heard some good things about them. And again, though they very much look like they're Strat style pickups. I have a very special Telecaster pickup I've been waiting to put in something, so it might not be this because of the size and the route for it. I think is only routed for a Strat size pickup, but we will confirm that. We'll get some sounds and we'll take a closer look at this guitar, but just based on the unboxing, I'm pleased. And I will say, despite the fact that this is a very slim box to send a guitar in, that the sarcophagus did its job. And honestly, if I sell a Telecaster style guitar on Reverb, I might strip it in this, assuming it fits next time. So we'll check that out and check the guitar out rather in more detail and get some sounds. Okay, on the bridge pickup, got it plugged into a Boss Katana clean channel, mic'd with an SM57, and other than checking to make sure sound was coming out of it, you're about to hear it for the first time with me. Good sound. Okay, now we're going to go to the middle position. This has 9s on it, and these are pretty big frets. And I usually play 10s, so it's a little bit unusual feel for me, but nothing bad at all. In fact, it feels really good. The neck shape's, I would say, a medium C, and a little fuller than the slim C. That feels nice. So let's go to the neck pickup. This. There's the bridge, here's the middle. Neck. The other videos I've seen indicate that these are very low output pickups, and I would agree with that just based on first impressions. Actually sound pretty good. They do sound more like Strat pickups than Tele pickups in my opinion. Back on the bridge here, let's just do a volume check, knob check here. Not great, but definitely not the worst I've heard. Kinda. About 4 it goes almost all the way out. Try the tone now. About the same. Okay. So which again, for this price point, not bad at all. I've definitely heard worse. And let's see. Go way up here now. And also it does have a traditional heel joint, is not contoured in any way. So far, so good. No dead frets. Oh, try a classic riff I like to play here. Definitely sounds more like a Strat pickup to me, which I never owned a hardtail Strat, but this might actually be for someone who would prefer a Tele shape, a hardtail Strat alternative. So those are some clean sounds, just the Boss Katana on the clean channel, all the EQs set to 5. Let's get some gain sounds and see how it does. Okay, now on the crunch channel, the Katana, gain on about 5, bridge pickup. Not a bad sound. I think these are ceramic magnet pickups, but they sound pretty good. Middle position. Sound. These actually, I really like these pickups actually. Okay, and let's go to the neck. One thing I'll say, and again, I'm not used to stainless steel frets, but these do feel, you can almost might be able to hear a little bit gritty. That's throwing me off a little bit playing between the really light strings and that. It might be something that'll wear in with a little bit of playing, but it's something to keep in mind there. Pretty nice. I have to say, I really like these pickups. So now let's get some higher gain sounds than this even. Okay, on the lead channel of the Katana now, EQs are all the same. I like the Katana for demos like this because I think it's a good complement using a relatively inexpensive amp with a very inexpensive guitar rather than getting, you know, a really nice amp and maybe not playing the guitar in the setting a lot of people would play it. Though I do think that maybe the main market for this guitar are people like me, people who are Prince fans and just want this just for the fun of it. But anyway, I digress. Let's hear it. Bridge pickup, lead channel. All EQ still on 5. I'll say too, I'd like to put 10s on this and play it some, because I don't think the 9s are really doing it justice. But this is such a straight neck, and I really like that. Sounds pretty good going to the middle position. Though I will say, one thing that made me hesitant is that the action is really low on this out of the box, and it's not buzzing anywhere. So again, middle position. Let's go to the neck. So you can see playing in various positions all the way up the neck there. Not a single problem with buzz or dead notes. Press them from down. So far I will say, if you want a guitar that sounds like a Strat and looks like a fancy Telecaster, this is a pretty good buy. So now, what I'd like to do is take a closer look to what makes this thing tick. Look, pickups, might even take the neck off, look at the neck pocket, just out of curiosity, see if this will fit a Fender neck, because I have a Squier Affinity neck from my project about this time last year, the Squier Affinity upgrade. So I think those would all be things I think anyone who's interested in this guitar might be curious about. And to make 100% for sure, even though these sure look like Stratocaster pickups, that they are Strat size in case you want to get this and upgrade it. Though I will say again, I'm really impressed with these stock pickups. So let's get the strings off this thing and take a look. Okay, let's take a look inside the Firefly Mad Cat, and it revealed some pleasant surprises. So first, I'll show you the pick guard. As you can see, this is a translucent leopard pattern pick guard. It's the wiring on the neck pickup is, the wires are pretty short, so you can only do so much, but try to get right here. You can see, trying to get in focus here, that as one would expect, that is a stripe, not like a piece of walnut or anything like it would be on a Firebird. But that looks like that might be the mahogany that doesn't have a flame maple veneer over it. But it's very nice. Very nice wood grain on the mahogany and the veneer. And now we will get to what I think is the most interesting part compared to a video I watched that I have linked below. from a channel called the Tape Farm. So there are typically two kinds of single coil pickups, and I know there are variations. I'll show you right here. This is an inexpensive Telecaster style neck pickup, and what I'm about to show you doesn't matter if it's a Telecaster or a Stratocaster. It has a ceramic bar magnet on the bottom. Those are generally considered to be more affordable options, though some people like Phil McKnight really love them, which were on the old Mexican Standard series Teles and Strats. So this is an Alnico 5 Stratocaster style pickup. This is the stock pickguard off of my 60s classic vibe Stratocaster. And you can see this also has the small alpha pots, but these are the same style of pickups as would be in an American Stratocaster. Not the same, not identical, but the same general construction. So I was expecting, based on the video I just referenced, these being ceramic magnet pickups, even though I thought they sounded very much like Alnico ones. And lo and behold, they are in fact Alnico, probably Alnico 5 pickups. So I think this is a, whether or not this was a conscious choice or something that does happen sometimes with the overseas manufacturers who make inexpensive guitars. It might just be that when they were making this guitar, they had these pickups. When they had the one that was reviewed on the other channel back at the end of 2022, they had the ceramic bar. So this is actually, I would consider, for me personally, a higher end spec than what I was expecting. Another thing too, this is, and this was the case in the video by the other gentleman, cloth wire, which I really prefer. And let me say that I didn't want to go to the trouble of taking the neck pickup out just to show you. They're identical. I looked under, there's not enough play for me to really flip this over. I'll try to, but see, you can see there, they're identical. But these are in fact Stratocaster style pickups. Let me put this back here and I'll show you. This is a Stratocaster cover that I had around, but see, there's a scratch there on that. So that's a pleasant surprise. Another thing, it's not a surprise because it was the same in the other gentleman's video. These are full-size pots. They are not branded CTS or anything, but they are full-size. Like I said, they felt pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. And the soldering work in here is good. Nothing too messy or anything. That is the inexpensive switch like I thought it would be. But overall, to think that, you know, this is a $200 guitar, that's some higher end stuff. So, oh, and let me say too that this plate is also the same translucent material as the pick guard. So that's very interesting. And I'm growing increasingly fond of this inexpensive guitar. So now let's get the body back together and take a look at the neck. Okay, the neck is off, and in one of the videos I have linked below, they talked about how the neck pocket wasn't the best, and it was a little bit loose. That was not the case with this guitar. I had a hard time getting it out. It would definitely, I'm not saying you should do this, but you could probably pick it up with the screws out, and that would have stayed in there. Also, in that video, there was a shim, and no shim here. So let's push the body aside here and look at the neck itself. As you can see, the truss rod adjustment is at the headstock, as I would always prefer, unless it was just a dead vintage guitar. Nice wood grain on the neck. Very nice. Obviously black dots. It still looks like that even though there's a skunk stripe on the back, that looks like that the fretboard is a different piece than the neck, which that's fine. Fine. Looks like there's a little marking there of some sort. Almost says, I'm not sure what it says, like an F or MF or MP maybe. But the frets, like I said, these are the first stainless steel frets I've ever had on a guitar. I don't know if it's, they do felt a little bit gritty playing them. They don't feel gritty to the touch really. They feel like stainless steel. The fret ends are perfect. Again, I believe these are the ones that they round off before they installed them. Again, nice wood grain. Flip it around here to the headstock. I think the headstock's a fairly nice design. Obviously, it can't copy a Fender. Maybe a little bit, I hate to use the word clunky, not as streamlined as a Fender, but it looks fine. The tuners, that's another point of contention for some people. I've not seen anyone say they were bad. They're not bad. They're just the generic modern Fender style overseas tuners, and they work fine. So, and then I really like this figurine in the neck, especially right there. So I really like this neck a lot. The shape of it reminds me of my beloved black Telecaster, which is a 92 Mexican standard. It's definitely not a thick neck, but it's not thin. It's definitely thicker than a classic vibe. A little thicker, I would say, than what's on an American Professional. But next thing we will do now is we will see if a Fender-sized Telecaster neck will fit in there. Which, again, I think that the neck, unless you just really want a different shape, does not need replaced unless you just want one that says Fender. But I think that this is something that's people who buy inexpensive guitars and want to mod them, this is a relevant point. So let's see what it does. This is a Squier Bullet Telecaster neck. If you saw my Bullet Telecaster upgrade series, you will know that this was replaced by a roasted maple Fender genuine neck, and they were perfectly interchangeable, and that Fender neck fit perfectly where this neck used to be. So just the fact that this is a Squier does not mean it's not a traditional size Fender neck. So again, there's the neck pocket, and as you can see, it's a little bit, try to get it in focus there, a little bit loose, but I believe that you could do this if you wanted to. And I will go ahead and tell you, I tried to screw this in, but the screw holes don't match up exactly. But I do believe that you could, again, get a Telecaster neck on here. Do not take my word for it, though. But I would personally be comfortable buying that, but you always want to check for yourself. And I think that you could definitely make it work, because let me take you from this angle. Putting the neck in this way, you can see flush, fits well there. So I do think this is something you could do, but I will say, quite frankly, that I don't know why you would want to change the neck, because this is a great neck. The frets might use a little polishing, but they're perfectly cut. Gloss neck, but not overly sticky. I mean, this is not something I personally would upgrade. So, but the question as to whether or not a Fender neck would fit, probably. But before you spend the money, I would do more investigation yourself. And just really briefly, I don't have this screwed in yet, but you can see how perfectly flush that is. And I had to use a little bit of force to even get it in. You can see I can move the guitar without the, you can see it's not screwed in yet. So this is a very flush fit, and I'm very impressed by it. Okay, going through a VOX AC10, treble and bass are on 5, gains on about 3. After I put the neck back on, it is now starting up with Diodario 10s, which feel much better to me. So start with the bridge pickup. Go to the middle position. Definitely sounds stratty. Let's try something else here. Still in the middle position. And the neck. Definitely more mellow. Let's try this. Yeah, that's a very mellow sounding pickup through this amp. Let's try a little different thing here. These are new strings. I can tell they're going out of tune a little bit, so I'm going to tune up and kick on some overdrive. Okay, kicked on the MXR Timmy, gains about halfway up, starting on the bridge pickup. Going to the middle position. Let me say the frets are getting less gritty the more I play them, so that might be a factory thing because they look very polished. Go to the neck. Try this one again. Very stratty. Okay, final thoughts. But before I get there, I broke out the trusty radius gauges because I saw another video that said that the radius on this guitar was 15 inches. And I could tell it was very flat. I tested it, I would say between 14 and 3/4 would be my guess if I had to guess, because it was right between the 14 gauge I used and the 15. So that's a pretty flat radius. So final thoughts. For $200, this is an amazing guitar. I have a lot of experience with Squiers. This is a much better guitar than a Squier Bullet out of the box. I would say it's better than a Squier Affinity. I would say it might even be better, depending on what you want, than a classic vibe, which is saying a lot. The more I play it, the more it grows on me, of course. Compared to the classic vibe, it has some pluses and some minuses. I think that some of them are even direct trade-offs. Like, for example, you get the Oak Grigsby switch in the classic vibes, but you get smaller pots. You get full-size pots on this. So, trade-off, stainless steel frets, which, depending on, I would say that's better for this, because even though I think that I would overall prefer nickel, the Squier nickel is just not as high quality as the Fender nickel, which is not anything that would affect the guitar in the short term. You would have to play it more than probably anyone would ever play a Squier for it to be a problem, but it would wear out faster than if you had an American Professional 2 with higher quality nickel. The tuning machines, the classic vibe definitely has better tuning machines. These work fine. They probably are the same ones that would be on an Affinity, say. Then a lot of it comes down to what you're looking for, because despite what, just like Prince's Mad Cat, this is not a Telecaster. And I just don't mean that in that it's not a Fender or a Squier. It has Stratocaster pickups. It sounds much more like a Stratocaster than a Telecaster. If you want Stratocaster hardtail sounds in a Telecaster body, this might be the guitar for you. If you are a big Prince fan, like I am, absolutely get one of these. It's fun just to have. The very well put together. I did not weigh it as of now, but you should see the weight scrolling across the bottom. I will check that here momentarily. But very medium weight, I would say, for a Telecaster style guitar. Again, beautiful veneers. This neck is fantastic. I would never think of replacing this neck. The nut feels like it's just a cheap material. There's nothing wrong with it. You might upgrade that. I intend on keeping this guitar. I never like to say forever, because guitars come and go to make room for new ones, but I absolutely love this one. If I were to do upgrades, first upgrade would probably be the tuning machines, then the nut. Even though this is a more inexpensive switch, it works fine. It feels good. It's the type of thing that you don't need to replace it till it goes bad, frankly. It just might go bad sooner. The saddles are fine. The pickups, I think, sound really good. I actually got this thinking that it would give me at least 2 videos worth of content, because I'd be doing a pickup upgrade, but I actually really like these a lot. They are, as I discussed when I was looking inside, look like Alnico 5 magnets, similar to what you would get on a classic vibe. I think the output is low, which, you know, is not good or bad. It's just a matter of taste. They sound great and stratty. Again, if you want a stratty sound in a Telecaster style body, these pickups might be for you. This one is a little bit mellow sounding. I might try to raise it a little bit, because it's a little bit lower than I would have it, but still sounded good. If you want higher output sounds, you might want to upgrade them, but keep in mind they are Stratocaster size, it appears to me, and style. But the good thing is, you know, I think sometimes even some of my favorite single coil Strat bridge pickups can sound a little thin and weak, but I think the Telecaster construction and it being a hardtail gives this one a little more oomph and thickness, and a good combination of the two, I think. Again, looks amazing. Fit and finish is excellent. The only 2 little things is there was a little tiny faint scratch on this very unique pick guard and on this pickup cover. Definitely things I would forgive on a $200 made in China guitar. I might be a little more aggravated if this was like an American-made Fender, but for the price, I think it's great. Every video I've watched about this has been extremely positive, and I would add mine to that list. If you're a Prince fan, want a guitar that looks like Prince's Mad Cat, I think this is the one to get unless you just have the money to burn to get the Eastman or the vintage ones. What this actually reminds me of, because the neck profile too reminds me more of my 90s Mexican Telecaster. The neck profile is, the classic vibes have amazing neck profiles rather. They're a little thinner than this. This is a little fuller. Feels really good in the hand. If you really, it's not super thick gloss. For those of you who really don't like the gloss poly neck finishes, not sure if this is actually polyester or polyurethane, might want to take some steel wool. Watch another video. I don't do how-tos. I don't feel qualified, even if I'm happy to do it on my own guitars. Might be a little thick, but not bad. But that's sort of what it reminds me of. I would not say, probably having played, and it's February 2024 as I record this, I would say that I think that a player series, just a regular player series Telecaster, is nicer than this. Because I had the green one, the British Racing green one, the stock Seymour Duncan quarter-pound pickups. That was a nicer guitar than this. It has the gloss front of the neck and the satin finish on the back. It also had the 6 saddle bridge. But that guitar, not even saying that guitar, because that guitar with the pickups would be 5 times more, and it's out of production now because it was a limited edition. But a Mexican Telecaster or Stratocaster is a little bit better guitar than this. Same thing, of course, you don't get the stainless steel frets, but it's not 4 times better. And it doesn't have the unique style of this one. So I think it's every bit as good, if not better, than the classic vibe. Almost as good as a player series. I wouldn't go quite as far as say it is as good as a player series, but I'm really impressed by it. I was honestly, not sure how long I was going to keep it, and again, I never can say because you never know what else might come up. I might need to do a trade on, but I'm really happy to play this and keep it and get to know it better. Please, if you have one of these, let me know your experience in the comments. And again, it's nothing to say any specific country, but inexpensive guitars in overseas factories, it could be that I got a really good one, someone else might have got a really bad one. I've watched probably 3 or 4 videos and they were all very positive. So the more opinions we have out there, the more informative we can be for one another, because that's part of the point, is to have fun and help each other out. So if you have any questions, please leave them below. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, keep on rocking.